Hello everyone, welcome back to the course again. In this lesson, we'll be talking about top 10 production planning mistakes. Though the course entitles the best practices, so I thought we might as well discuss about production planning mistakes. So this is one of the best practices is not to repeat the same mistakes again. So there is a very good quote by Eleanor Roosevelt which says, "Learn from the mistakes of others. You can't live long enough to make them all yourself." So there are mistakes which have been made previously in the history. People have uh, gone through them and they have come out and they have realized these things which should be avoided. So best is we learn about them before committing them, and it's best always to avoid it. So let us get started and discuss them one by one. First, not anticipating the risk and the variability. One need to understand there are always going to be risk and variability as and things won't go as per your plan. Please understand production plan is just a starting point. It's the baseline. And when it actually goes on the manufacturing floor and what escalations from customer may come at that point of time, we don't have any access to it and we don't have any control over it. So we should be always ready and anticipate, yes, there are going to be risk and there is going to be variability on the manufacturing shop floor or in the demand. So please anticipate both risk and variability. Second, not having a contingency plan. So once you have identified and anticipated, okay, here are some risk and variability, you should have a contingency plan, a substitute, an alternative. If something goes wrong, what I need to do it. So I think I have we have a different lesson altogether about contingency plan, so I won't speak much on this. Please go through that lesson if you haven't so far. Third point, unconnected to the production shop. So this happens especially when the organization grows very large and the manufacturing shop floor is somewhere else, the planning team is sitting at different end of the campus or at the different location altogether. Sometimes the central unit, the central headquarters is somewhere else and production is happening somewhere else when the business has grown very long. So in such cases there is a lot of uh, discontinuity, or things are not connected. What's happening on the production floor, what's the status of the production floor, where is my schedule right now. So connectivity is very important for a planner with the production floor. So have a dashboard, have a tool, have a software, have frequent check-ins or meetings with the production team and stay connected. If you aren't connected, then you're losing a lot of real-time information which will again uh, again will lead to a miserable result when there is an when there is a risk or variability happening or execution of any contingency planning. Unawareness of the current production status is going to be very harmful for the production planner. Fourth, maintenance is given very least priority whenever there is a sales target. Now this month I have a huge sales target, I'm packed end to end, there is zero capacity available or zero buffer available for machine to go under maintenance. But the owner or the product owner of the machine says, no, we need once a month, a downtime of 1 day 2 days. But company, just to hit their sales target, they are cutting down on the time for the machine maintenance. So this is a very wrong practice. If you are not giving enough time for your machines and equipments to have the preventive maintenance, and eventually the machine is going to break down like anything and it's going to create a big loss. So never do this and always prioritize preventive maintenance. Fifth, focusing entirely on the work order due date. So there are two uh, products in line for the production. One has 3 weeks lead time, another has 6 weeks lead time. So we are anyway always prioritizing the one which is having a more lead time. 6 weeks lead time. Let's produce that first. No, that shouldn't be the only criteria. So I'll be creating one more lesson on this about how to prioritize your products on the shop floor, on the manufacturing line. There is something called as critical ratio, which needs to be considered, which considers two factors as one is the lead time, second is when is the customer anticipating that order. So these two has to be considered. So this was the fifth point. Coming to the sixth one, communication between these three functions: purchase, second storage. The storage is warehouse basically. So purchase, warehouse, and production is not standardized. So communication between these three functions is very non-standard in many of the cases. Being into the same under the same umbrella of supply chain, sometimes this is sometimes ignored, and there are at times very informal, unstructured communication between these three functions. Now, since we know that there are going to be risks, there are going to be variability, any change in the production plan should have a change in purchase and the warehouse as well. Production will need the raw material for produce and also need to consider the warehouse capacity. So any changes in purchase will again lead change into production and storage or other way around. So all these three of them are very interconnected. So having a standardized way of communicating, if any one function is anticipating any risk or is planning to make any changes in the planned schedule, it should be communicated properly. And many companies fail miserably to have a standard communication channel between these three functions. Seventh, incorrect BOM. So what is BOM? Bill of material, which has all the details about a finished good, what all raw materials, what all child parts are going to be used, how it should be manufactured, the internal lead time, the quantity, and everything. So any error in this, sometimes organization, they keep on modifying their products, or there are changes in the raw material because of price or other market issues. There is war happening because of COVID, and we have changed such a certain child from apart from A to B. That has that has been not properly communicated down the line on the shop floor. So that again, so any incorrect details um, in the BOM, because this happens to be the base or foundation of the planning. So any incorrect details on this BOM will again lead to uh, unscheduled production planning. Eighth, planning production theoretically. So sometimes uh, we only plan through the ERP system or the software, production planning software, and we stay disconnected with the production floor. So not everything can be planned through software. At times you have to go to the shop floor, meet people, and work with different work professionals, understand how production plan is executed at their end, and that will holistically help you to make a realistic plan, not a theoretical plan. So yeah, these are the top 8 mistakes which I can think of. And you may think, okay, in the beginning of the lesson I asked for top 10, but I have only given 8. That's because next two I expect you to fill. So next lesson would be an assignment where you need to introspect and think as a production planner, what are other two top mistakes which are generally made in the production planning. So I'll request, take a print of this, paste it on your desk whenever you're planning, uh, whenever you're doing production planning. Go through them and don't commit the same mistakes again. Thank you and happy learning again.